Hello everyone, in this video I will tell you about a tactic called the discovered attack and its variants, the discovered check and double check. So let's start. So first I'll show some examples for all of the three. First we'll do discovered attack. So discovered attack is basically there's two pieces of your own color and one of your opponent in one straight line. It could be a diagonal or a file or a rank, and the piece behind, so like this queen, is a straight line piece which can be a queen, rook or bishop, and it is being blocked by another piece. And so the other piece which is blocking the straight line piece, it moves away, and that makes the straight line piece attack the opponent's piece. So like in this example, black played knight g6, and we see that the queen, the knight and the bishop are in the same file, so same rank. So we can take this bishop on e6, and if you take, then we take this bishop, because then that attack got opened up. You save this, then we just move back, something like knight before me. Another example for discovered attack. So black played knight d4, trying to attack a bit, and these three pieces, the queen, the knight and this knight, are on the same diagonal. So we move this knight, capturing this knight. When you take this, and if you don't take, you move this knight back, then we can save this knight easily. Then a discovered check is basically like a discovered attack, but one of the pieces is also giving a check. So yeah, like in this position, black's first move is kind of obvious: queen takes f2, king h1, and now we have knight g3 check. This rook is attacking this rook, and it's a check, so you have to take, only legal move. And then we get this rook, and we also get the queen, because once you take, we'll take back, because it's a fork. If you move, we just take this. um one more example for discovered check is this one. So white to move, this is the windmill tactic. So rook takes d7, it's a discovered check by the bishop. King g8, rook g7 again, king goes back, then we take like this, again discovered check, and this is just the entire point of the pattern. So it keeps going back. Sometimes you don't take this a7 pawn, because then that opens this rook, but I'm just doing it to show you. And then you can take the queen, so you get a very commanding position. Then lastly, a double check is like a discovered check, but um, both of the pieces are checking in a double check. So when it's a double check, the king has to move, because you can't block both of the checks at once, right? So king g6 to get out of the way of this discovered check, bishop e8, king h7, knight f6 double check. Now the king has to move, because that's the only, you have to move the king because you can't block both of them. So king g7, only legal move. Rook h7 check, sacrificing the knight. Rook f7, king g6, and now rook f1. This is our discovered check. You can't take this rook because it's a check. So king moves, and then we take this queen. Now if you play something like c2, just rook c1, you can't promote. Last example for double check. Double check. This is the most famous like example for double checks. Yeah. So white to move, white plays queen d8 check. King d8 is the only legal move, and then bishop g5 check. Rook is also checking, bishop is also checking. The king has to move. If king goes to e8, there's rook d8 made, and if king goes to c7, there's bishop d8 made. And one thing to like be aware of in this mating pattern is that neither of these rooks can see the d8 square, because like if in king d8, if rook d8, if this bishop wasn't there, you could just take the rook. That's not made. And for king c7, you have to be sure neither of them look at the d8 square, because that's quite important. um, and one more thing for double check. So wait, not this example, sorry. Yeah, yes. So for this example, like we took the windmill tactic, but suppose there were pawns here and here, or f7 and h7, Then there's a double check mating pattern. So you sacrifice this rook. I'm just making the moves to show. King takes g8, it's a double check, so you would have to take. And rook g1, if this pawn wasn't there, so that would be a mate. So that's quite a common mating pattern. Okay, now let's do some puzzles. Now we're going to do some puzzles on Lichess. For discovered attacks, we'll do 10 because it counts discovered attack and discovered check as the same. And for double check, we'll do 5. So this is the first one, discovered attack. Black just played bishop h4, and we have to think what's the best move. So this is a discovered check. If you want to solve it by yourself, then you can pause the video. So I'm just letting the move. This is a discovered check. Bishop to h6 check. When rook takes h6, you can take this queen. Okay, next puzzle. Take any time if you need. Okay, I'm starting. So I think what's happening here is that it's a discovered pin, like e4. Yeah, you take, and then we take this, queen takes, and we take the rook. Okay, it's 2 done. Next position, white to move. um, yeah, so I got it. It's knight takes f6 check. If whatever takes the rook or the queen, you then take bishop takes g6. That's it, undefended. If you take, bishop takes c7. That's a pin. Okay, 3 done. Black to move. Okay, so the answer is knight e2 check, and we take this. The problem here is that the problem with knight b3, if you thought that, is that you can take here and you haven't really gained anything. Okay, so next position, black to move. We've done 4. This is also discovered check. Knight to g3 check. H takes g3. H takes g3. Queen comes back and mate. This is a common mating pattern. There's a bishop or a queen here, and you usually sacrifice a rook or something to get a mate. Okay, bishop a4. 5 are done. 5 to go. Um, um, I don't really know this. I think it's b4. Yeah, you go there. Yeah, and then there's bishop takes f7. That's called a Greek gift sacrifice, and we take the queen. Okay, 4 more of this. Yeah, this is similar to the last position. We sacrifice the bishop. You must take, and you take the queen. Okay. Um, hmm. Um, I can't really get this. Wait. I think it's something to do with knight e4, but I don't know what exactly. Could be h6 also. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's d takes c4, and then we take this bishop all the way over here. So that was kind of hard for me to see. Bishop. Okay, 2 more positions of this. Yeah. So this one's kind of easy. Knight takes c3, you take, and then we sacrifice a rook for the two pieces, which is mostly better in most cases. This is quite easy. The last one, the second last one. So that's d6 check, and you went here. Okay. Yeah, so we can take, and then this bishop also got opened. So yeah, this one thing I didn't even see when that happened. When we play d6, not only is this open, but these bishops also start seeing each other. So um, yeah, now the last puzzle for discovered attack and discovered check. And yeah, so that's knight takes d5 as a skewer on the queen and rook, and we can take this. Take, I guess. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I did one extra. Anyway, now we're going to go to double check. So this is the first position, and so here you see if the king was on d7, then we could double check it with the bishop. So we force it to d7, queen h8, king d7, bishop f5, and then queen d8 is made. Okay, so this one's kind of easy. You play rook d1, also setting up for this, and that's a double check and a skewer. So we take this. Okay, this one's a nice puzzle. So you see if this knight wasn't there, then we're attacking g7, it's mate. So we can sacrifice on g7. When king takes, you have to decide which knight check you want to give. For double check, of course, you have to decide knight e6 or knight f5. So here knight f5 is best, not because after king g8 there's knight h6 check, and it's made because the bishop covers this entire diagonal. Okay, two more positions for this. Yeah, in a lot of these positions where there's a knight giving the double check, it's important to see where you want to move the knight, because there's usually two places you can move it. So here knight f6 check, because that covers d7, then knight d7 is made. Okay, so yeah, so this rook is very important here, because knight f1 check, king goes down, we take this, we get this check, the king takes, and then queen h1 is made because this rook covers this entire file. So that was some puzzles I've done, and I hope you like this video. I'll meet you in the next one. Till then, bye bye.